What's up, guys? It's Joel Punishers Paintball. Today we've got a very exciting product comparison, two of Planet Eclipse's markers. We've got the Planet Eclipse Gtek 180R as well as the Planet Eclipse CS3. Can't believe this, but we just checked in our archive and we never actually did this full product comparison. So we are here to cover it because we've been getting asked quite a bit about these two specific markers. So with that said, guys, make sure that you like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys after the intro.
I'm so free.
Alright guys, so this is actually one of the first product comparisons that I've ever done by myself. We've got Cody behind the camera. Cody shoots the CS3 and has shot the 180R, so we're going to ask his opinion on this. I've got my trusty checklist of things to run through with the product comparison and things to talk about that we've tried to standardize all of our gun comparisons to. So we are going to go through that checklist here and figure out which one we like better. So first and foremost, guys, we're going to talk about the packaging with the CS3 and the 180R. Very, very similar when it comes to the packaging. We've got the 180R over here. I'm going to pop this out of the box. And just like that, we've got it out of the box here. So as you guys can see here, very, very nice case from the new revised Planet Eclipse cases as compared to the old style with the CS2 and the GO4 and the LV1.6. Now with the 180R, the CS3, and the LV2, you're going to get this really nice case. Doesn't seem to stain too much. Yours has never really stained that much.
When I leave it in my gear bag, it like just changes like dirt. Like it changes like a dirty color, but I think it's just a cloth on it.
Yeah, but it's not bad. Like
No,
I've got paint on mine before, and it didn't stain it like horribly. And the nice thing too is like this doesn't dent, which is really nice. You've got all of your different barrel slots here for all of your inserts. As you can see here, the 180R does not come with any extra inserts. Barrel cover, lube underneath that, full parts kit, full color manual, as well as the Allen keys. Now we're going to go over to the CS3. Now we've got the CS3 case. Opening this bad boy up, as you can see, it's very similar to the 180R case. The only difference between the two cases, guys, is going to be the fact that it's going to come with an extra barrel insert, but obviously that's not actually part of the packaging. But the next thing on the agenda to talk about is barrel, so we're going to go to that. But before I do that, we're just going to make it a tie for the packaging. Would you agree with that, Cody? I mean, it's literally the same thing.
Nothing
so
different.
yeah, it's really not much to negotiate there. Guys, when it comes to the barrel system, over here we've got the it's like a shaft style barrel, but it does come with it's bored out so that it takes the power inserts from the 180R, and then we've got the fully ported out S63 barrel system with the Planet Eclipse CS3. I'm going to have Cody grab us a scale real quick so we can weigh the two barrel systems. So I think the biggest thing that we need to talk about when it comes to the barrel system is two things. One is going to be the porting / sound signature of the barrel, and then second thing is going to be the weight. It takes the same style insert and everything else like that. I will say the S63 barrel system is definitely more stylish, and it's got these nice little, can you zoom in real quick here, Cody? It's got these nice little holes right here so that you can actually see what insert you're rocking, whereas with the shaft style S63 barrel system, power insert system, whatever you want to call it, the only way you're going to be able to tell is to actually take your barrel off and pull your insert out to tell what insert you're rocking. From that perspective, that's nice. We're going to weigh them here real quick. We're at 0. We're going to put the S63 on it. We weighed it before, 4 ounces flat.
Yep.
Okay. And then with the, is it zeroed again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then we've got the Gtek 180R barrel. Put that on there. 4.7 ounces. So as kind of predicted, guys, the Gtek 180R barrel system is a little bit heavier. We will talk about that when Cody and I take these guns out and shoot that outside. But I think that this barrel seems to be a little bit quieter when contributing sound signature as compared to the S63 barrel system. So with that said, you know, I'm going to give the win to the S63. Cody, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I like the style of it.
It's much better. It looks high end. It's milled. It's milled nice. The porting's nice. The hole right there. Yeah. And then on top of that, guys, with the CS3, you are getting that extra insert with it. Obviously, you're spending a lot more money with the CS3 compared to the 180R. But you are getting 2 inserts as compared to the just 1 insert with the 180R, which is a 689 insert. With the CS3, you're getting an 8.5 and an 8.9 insert. So
Don't get me wrong, the 180R is it's a stylish gun. It has good milling.
Yeah, it does. It's very stylish.
The
for
barrel,
sure.
It's a good pointer.
For sure. All right, guys. So next thing on the agenda that we're going to talk about is feed neck. Both these offer a really nice low-rise feed neck clamping here, and very nice large thumb wheel, so it's easy to adjust that. They're exactly the same, so we're going to give it a wash there. Next thing would be eyes. Once again, I'm going to give it a wash here because they're basically identical. You're going to pull off your front grip on either the CS3 or the 180R. Go ahead and zoom in, Cody. And there is a forward latch here that you're just going to pull that forward and your eye cover is going to pop off. Now, the one thing that I really like about the 180R and the CS3 style eye covers is that there is a reflective system right here that reflects off the eye cover and then basically allows for better cleaning. So you basically just pop that off and wipe it down and you're good to go when it comes to the cleaning. As well as the one thing that I've noticed with the older school Planet Eclipse markers that don't have this reflective system is they had a cable eye system, and I've seen it where the cable eye system actually migrates from where the hole is in the body of the gun, and it migrates down a little bit, and when it migrates down it actually causes an eye fault. I've seen that with a couple markers, not many, but I have seen that. So I definitely think that this is like a superior system compared to anything else that Planet Eclipse offers. I know that the LV2 does still offer the cable eye system as compared to this system, and I really, really like this system. It's probably my favorite eye system. The only thing that I could think of that would actually come close is the dye eye system, which offers the eye pipe, but that's for a different product comparison video. Next up, guys, battery changing between the two. The Gtek 180R takes a 9-volt battery. The Planet Eclipse CS3 takes a 2 AA's. Overall, battery changing, very simple on these markers. We're just going to pull this forward. On the CS3, it is actually held in with a latch, and you've got your 2 AA's that come out right here. Whereas with the Planet Eclipse Gtek 180R, it is a 9-volt battery that just kind of hangs in there. And you know, sometimes can kind of fall out of place if you let it. So with that said, guys, I'm going to give the Planet Eclipse CS3 the winner on that one, because for two reasons. A, I like having AA batteries. What do you think? You like having AA's?
I like it 'cause it's cheaper.
Oh. Yeah, I never even factor price in. My biggest thing is I use AA's with my Spire 5.
Yeah, and I always have the batteries for the Spire 5. Or any Spire.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a 9-volt's not bad, but you got a good point. You're spending $3-4, whereas 2 AA's is way cheaper.
You buy a whole box of AA's and it's still probably cheaper than
right.
2 9-volts.
So you can power your gun, plus you can power your Spire, you know, or your loader,
Yep.
you know, whatever it may be, because pretty much everything on the market takes AA's when it comes to loader. So for me, guys, I like the CS3 because of that. So with that said, guys, the CS3 wins when it comes to the batteries, in our opinion. Next up, guys, we're going to talk about the trigger between the Planet Eclipse CS3 and the Gtek 180R. The Gtek 180R offers this style of trigger where it's just the trigger shoe here, and then all of your adjustments will remain the same if you want to change your trigger shoe on it. The trigger on this isn't bad. It's just kind of like a blade style trigger. Infamous offers a bunch of different style triggers, as well as Exalt. And I think Exalt and Infamous are, for the most part, offer different style triggers if you don't like the trigger from the factory. The CS3, kind of similar to that, whereas the way to change the trigger is slightly different. You actually have to take the screw out right here, pop the trigger out, and then there's a screw on the top of the trigger. Yeah, go ahead, Cody. There is a screw right here that you have to actually take that out, and then the silver piece right here falls out. So it's definitely a little bit more complicated as compared to the, well, I guess technically you got to take both of them out, so I guess it doesn't really matter. I personally like changing the trigger on the 180R a little bit more as compared to the CS3, but from like a feel perspective between the two, God, I don't know. I mean, which one do you like, Cody? Between
I like the CS3 just because if I want a new trigger, or say I'm switching between my blade and my deuce, I don't have to take the whole thing out. Like, I don't have to take the frame apart, and take the.
Well, you don't with this one. Keep in mind, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, the screw.
But which one from the factory do you like?
From the factory, it's the CS3.
Oh, really?
More adjustments.
Okay. I personally actually think that I'm going to go with this one, and the reason I say that is because it's a little bit thinner. I don't really like wide triggers, and the 180R offers that like little bit thinner of a trigger as compared to the CS3 trigger, which seems to be a little bit wider. You know, I use the stock trigger on my CS3, but I'm not like crazy about it. It's not my favorite trigger, but that's mainly just because of the width thing for me. But you know, Cody, you got a good point. Like, I mean, they're both four-way adjustable, but this does have the spring as well as the magnet. And then for the 180R, I don't believe it has a magnetic adjustment, so it is like one extra feature. It's just a spring adjustment. But from the factory, if I have to choose one, I'm actually going to choose the Gtek 180R. And then honorable mention here, guys, the infamous Deuce Raptor trigger. I'm a huge fan of that trigger. I really, really like that trigger. So if I'm picking one or the other, like if I can take both these guns and adjust the trigger and put an aftermarket trigger on any one of them, I'm going to choose this one, and I'm going to put a infamous Raptor Deuce trigger on it. Whereas like the Deuce triggers that are offered from Infamous or any of the other brands, for the CS3 I'm just not crazy about. Like there's a Type R trigger, it's a little bit thinner Deuce style trigger for this. I have one that's anodized for my personal CS3, and I never use it. Like I use the stock one. So
I just think for a customization standpoint, the CS3 probably wins. You get more adjustment to the trigger.
Sure.
I think you get more do you get more options for the CS3 trigger?
As far as like aftermarket options, no, I think actually this one wins because you've got the 1R style trigger.
Okay.
You've got the Exalt trigger, which is like a Deuce style trigger. You've got the Raptor trigger.
Yeah, because this one comes with the haptic and Raptor.
Well, you can get the haptic, or you can get the just like regular style Deuce.
Gotcha.
And you can get an S style trigger for this from Planet Eclipse. So I guess it's a wash.
It's almost a wash.
Yeah, but if you're just gonna buy the gun, like if we're just doing a straight comparison between the two, I see what you're saying about adjustability. For me, I like the thinness of the trigger.
The thinness does help with the 180R.
Yeah, and like I'm not crazy about magnetic returns, so I actually on my gun I've backed my magnetic out and just used the spring. And that's, I think, another reason why I like the 180R is because it's spring return instead of magnetic return.
Feels better.
So you like the CS3, and I like the 180R.
Yeah.
Right on. Okay. Next up, guys, board/programming. So the Gtek 180R is going to just be one button right here. It's going to turn on your OLED screen in the back. Pretty nice, you know, style board. Nothing too crazy. Pretty simple to program. If you want to program it, you're just going to, you know, turn, pull the trigger, turn the gun on, and it's going to do what it needs to do, cycle through the different options by pulling the trigger. On the Planet Eclipse CS3, you're actually going to be offered 3 different buttons here. So you're going to turn the marker on with the middle button. You can either double click or hold it. So I like to double click. It's also got an audible noise, whereas the Planet Eclipse Gtek 180R does not. And it's just like a really nice larger screen, higher resolution. So I don't think that there's any questioning when it comes to the two, which one's better. For me, I like the fact that the CS3 has all 3 buttons, and you're not using the trigger to cycle through, you're using the top button or the bottom button to cycle through different options. Cody?
I'm with you.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, if you're spending the money, right, like that's part of like what you're spending the extra money for.
That's why you're spending more money.
Yeah. So, board/programming, the CS3 wins. ASA between the two.
It's almost a wash.
It's almost wash,
it's the same design.
Pop style, yeah.
Yeah, same design.
The CS3 is a little bit more like minimal, which is going to help you probably with some weight reduction when we weigh them. But yeah, I mean, if you have to pick one, I'll probably pick the CS3.
I like the design of the CS3 a little bit more. That'd be about it.
Yeah. But I'd say probably wash, just in general. Ergonomics, guys, I'm going to pick the CS3 between the two. That's the main reason I'm actually choosing the CS3 over the 180R, because the 180R is such a great value option. But for me, my biggest thing is the length on this is amazing. It's like one of the only guns out there that offers like a full-size grip on it anymore. And I personally like to hold my gun low, and it just feels great. It's very thin width-wise, and it just contours to the hand excellent. They fixed the trigger frame. It's a little bit thinner as compared to the CS2, and I really like the way that it feels. The trigger frame is also more at a angle as compared to the CS2, which was more vertical. So I like that it's thinner and that it's angled a little bit more. It helps with my off the brake shooting. So I really like the CS3 when it comes to that. The Gtek 180R, they did make thinner on the back portion of this. It is got that, more of a slant. The front grip is definitely a little bit shorter and a lot thicker compared to the CS2 or the CS3. It's definitely not as contoured. Cody?
My favorite upgrade of the grips is actually the CS3. They don't bow anymore, the back grips. How you'd grab a CS2 and it'd be squished.
Over time, yes, they'd wear.
Because we've seen 200,000 shots on a CS3. And
correct. And the grips are still good.
Yeah, they're still great.
So what Cody's referring to, guys, is for the CS2, when you use them a lot, they would actually start to lose their texture and expand a little bit, and you could actually feel that there was a gap in between the grips as compared to the metal frame, whereas these grips are definitely improved. So that is a nice feature on the CS3. Ergonomically between the two, which one are you picking?
Definitely the CS3. The foregrip is really what does it for me.
Yeah,
I just can't do the smaller foregrip. It's kind of strange.
Yeah, and it's thicker.
Yeah.
So if it was longer, but with as big as my hands are.
Oh, if it was longer, I'd shoot the the 180R.
Yeah, for sure. So, okay, guys. So ergonomically, we're both picking the CS3. Next up, guys, we're gonna compare the weight of the two markers. Both have batteries in it. Cody, you want to zoom in a little bit?
Yep.
We'll start with the Gtek 180R. It does have the barrel. It does have the battery. Both of them have this back cap on it, so I'm just going to keep that. Actually, I'm going to take this off so that people can get true weight on it. I think that the CS3 is going to be lighter, personally.
I think by a couple ounces.
Okay, guys. 1 pound.
1.4.
14.2?
Yep.
Okay, 1 pound, 14.2 ounces for the Gtek 180R. I mean, that's actually,
that's pretty good.
That's good.
I think it's going to be really close, actually.
That's not much heavier than the Shocker Amp, which I know was always considered one of the lightest.
It was 112.
I think so, yeah. I think you're right. Okay, so now the CS3, we're tiered again. 1 pound, 14.7.
Or, sorry, 8.
1 pound.
Teetering between 8 and 9.
Wow, okay. So there you guys have it. The CS3, guys, is actually a little bit heavier, which is kind of surprising to me because of the fact that the ASAs, everything's milled down a little bit more with the CS3 as compared to the 180R. So that's really surprising to me that the CS3 is heavier, especially that the fact,
and it has a 9-volt.
And it has a 9-volt, right.
Yeah, which is heavier than 2 AA's.
Interesting. But overall, you're not going to really... when I pick both those guns up, I don't, noticeably in my hand tell a difference. So, but needless to say, the Gtek 180R wins when it comes to weight. Next up, maintenance between the two markers. They're both Planet Eclipse markers. They're probably two of the most tried and true Planet Eclipse markers. From a maintenance perspective, the regulator is pretty much the same. The bolt system is very similar. I'm going to give that a wash.
That's pretty much a wash.
Yeah, I agree. And next up, build quality / reliability, guys. Once again,
I mean,
they're both Planet Eclipse markers. We're comparing two of the same here. Reliability factor, I haven't seen any 180Rs go down. My personal CS3 has 95,000 shots on it, guys, and it just gave me an issue where it's leaking.
But tell the viewers how many times you've cleaned the gun.
6 or 7 times, guys. So
out
to
of
give you a
100,000
perspective,
shots.
So I rebuilt the bolt. It's still giving me an issue. I think it's actually the solenoid spool. I think it's dirty is what's going on. I was at a different field this weekend, and it happened almost immediately after I filled up that. So there might be some moisture, or whatever the case may be. But overall, guys, Cody, you had...
It's great.
How many did you have on your CS3?
70,000.
70,000.
Yeah.
Lubed it a few times.
Maybe.
Maybe. So there you guys have it. Build quality, reliability, guys, they're both great. I haven't seen issues with the Gtek 180R, which is really, really impressive. So, and we saw quite a few of those. Next up, tech support. Planet Eclipse is one of the best in the game. They're pretty much at every regional event. They're going to be at all your national events. They're going to service your marker. They're going to get it back to you. Both of these markers are going to come with a 1-year warranty, which is really nice. I think, obviously it's a wash because it's the same company. So next up, we're going to talk about upgradability. Upgradability between the two markers. They both offer a mech frame between the two of them, so there's really not much that you can do there. There's multiple triggers that you can get with both of them. They're both autococker threaded, so if you want to do that, wash.
They both come with the same 2 bolts, a soft and hard tip bolt.
So actually, the Planet Eclipse just released something saying that they are only going to start shipping new CS3s moving forward with soft tip bolts.
No hard tip bolts.
No hard tip bolts anymore.
I mean, does anybody change it?
No, nobody changes it. So it does not really matter.
I think the soft tip is work for any paint.
Does the 180R? I guess I don't. Yeah, it's got that FT bolt in it. So yeah, I mean you're the same there. Guys, upgradability, you really aren't going to have to do anything to these markers besides maybe put a different trigger on it to make it feel better. You can get different color grips if you really want to, but I don't.
Once you get the guns, you're just talking about looks.
Yeah.
You're just changing the look of it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, guys, so there it is. Very, very close between the two. The 180R had a few points. The CS3 had a few points. So now we are going to go outside. We're going to talk about shot quality, paint handling, and efficiency, and then give you our overall opinion between which one we think is better. We'll see you guys outside. All right, guys, so now we're out back. We've got the Planet Eclipse CS3 and the Gtek 180R out here, and we're shooting some GI 5-star. Once again, we're going to talk about shot quality, efficiency, paint handling, and all that stuff, and kind of do a general review, and then we're going to talk about which one we like more for the price that you're paying. So we're going to start here with the CS3. We got Aspire 5, and we've got Cody's stamp. We have Chrono. Both these markers. Come on over here, Cody. As you guys can see here, 289. Hold up. 289, 291, 289. Shooting 8.9 insert on both these markers. Shoots good. And we got the 180R, 295, 289, 286. Oh, it's on semi. Okay. CS3, 180R, CS3. Man, I'll tell you what, it is really close. Cody, I'm curious to see what you guys say. All right, now we're here with Cody. He's got both the 180R and the CS3. All right.
Very similar shot. This one's a little more. This sound quality sounds better.
Now, one thing to keep in mind, guys, is we do have a brand new 180R. We have a CS3 that has,
it's a little broken in.
Yeah, it's got some shots on it. So I think that might play in a factor a little bit on the overall shot quality, because we did do a different, shooting video between the two, and the 180R seemed quieter when we were actually on the field. I actually think that the CS3 is shooting smoother on this video.
It sounds like the CS3 is a little, like this one has like a teeth to it.
Yeah, whereas that one does not.
Yeah, it's
for
like
sure.
a flatter sounding shot.
For sure. But overall, Cody, so from a shot quality efficiency perspective, it's going to be very similar between these two markers. Paint handling, we did a brittle paint test on both these markers. They both did great. So, at this point, let's talk about value between these two markers. You got the CS3, you've got the Gtek 180R. I really think that for the value, the Gtek 180R is probably one of the best value paintball markers in the market. I think you're getting a lot of similarities between the two, and overall, I think that I'd prefer the Gtek 180R for the difference in price point. I personally shoot the CS3 because, one, I can afford to. with the business and everything else like that. I like the ergonomics of the CS3 compared to the 180R a lot more, and that's ultimately what swayed my decision to shoot the CS3. Cody, you shoot the CS3.
Exactly the same.
The ergonomics.
Yeah, because the shot's basically the same thing. It's like almost sound signature that's different. It just comes down to the ergonomics because the build's the same almost.
Yeah.
The bolt's almost the same. It really comes down to ergs and the sound of it.
For sure. Yeah. So you're picking.
The
So
CS3.
you're picking the CS3
Oh yeah.
overall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm actually, I'm going to pick the 180R because for $650 less,
Yeah. I mean, that's a huge price change.
if you're just an average customer,
Oh, the 180R.
the 180R.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm not like out here playing 2 times a week
Yeah.
and I'm grinding every weekend,
Yeah.
the 180R is definitely the way to go.
Gotcha. All right. Well, there you guys have it. Between the Gtek 180R and the CS3, the 180R overall wins. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time.